I think a lot of us who watch DC films in the DCEU agree that Suicide Squad is pretty much a bad movie. But a lot of the positives for Suicide Squad appear to be that Harley Quinn is the best part. But what if I can convince you that Harley Quinn is actually not good in Suicide Squad? In fact, she's probably bad in that movie. And to provide you an example on how she's actually bad, I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison on why she's actually really good in Birds of Prey. And we're going to go ahead and talk about that right now. So let's start this off with the first reason. Number one, I think she has actual personality in Birds of Prey. Margot Robbie does a fantastic job portraying the character of Harley Quinn, and I don't think that there would be another actress that can replace her. However, she pulls off a way better performance in Birds of Prey than she did in Suicide Squad. It feels like that there was more that she could play around with, and the direction that she was told to go in Birds of Prey was way better, and had a much more clear vision and understanding of what the character is like. She focuses more on the silly facial expressions that Harley Quinn usually makes, the way she pronounces words or how she enunciates them. Not to mention, the writers of the film also incorporate how she used to be a psychiatrist in the past, and they took that in advantage to see how it actually turns around to be a little silly, but also useful when she's going up and fighting against another person and uses it to her advantage, and how it plays really well within her character while she's making conversation with another person. So what's her personality in Suicide Squad? I mean, they've gotten down the character aspect of how she kind of does teases other characters a little bit, and also the fact that she can be pretty crazy. But according to how fun this actual character is supposed to be like, Suicide Squad really doesn't use much of any other personality traits that could make her exciting or fun. Number two, there's an actual character development for her in Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey really wants to go into detail about how much Harley Quinn feels alone, and since she's in the state of not knowing what to do, where to go, or who to be with, or having anybody on her side because she has done so many terrible things, a story about her being on her own and trying to figure out where to go in her life is a lot more fascinating. It seems like Suicide Squad wants to go into detail about how crazy the Joker and Harley Quinn are and their toxic relationship is like, and it tries to make some kind of deep and complex feeling about Harley Quinn, but all she ever does in the movie is just say how deep and complex love is like, without really going into detail about why it's supposed to be deep and complex. She just says, I'm in love, and that's it. Birds of Prey has a lot more of an important story to focus on Harley Quinn, and they actually explain and also have us experience why her character arc is very important in the movie. The third thing that makes her great in Birds of Prey is there's more physicality in her choreography when she's doing action scenes. Another plus on why she is better in Birds of Prey is because she's involved in a lot more action. In Suicide Squad, I think I remember her having one real scene where she was actually fighting two putty-like people in an elevator. But other than that, I don't really remember anything else that's memorable that she did in an action sequence. The way they make her so much more memorable in Birds of Prey is the way that we can recognize her fighting moves and her skills. And when she's fighting against somebody, she's displaying herself not only as an awesome fighter, but also entertaining and a little funny. Because her personality is that she's a little crazy, sometimes she'll go insane and go all over people, and it would be really fun to watch. But at other times, in order to make the scene entertaining, sometimes she will say a line that would actually be very quirky. Her fighting skills can come off as something that you would see in a slapstick comedy, and it ends up getting me a little bit of a chuckle. Suicide Squad doesn't have Harley Quinn stand out as any kind of difference. The only kind of difference that she has against any other group is that she does this thing in between her legs where she catches somebody, and Birds of Prey does that as well, but there is nothing else unique about Suicide Squad that makes Harley Quinn stand out when she is in action. She's just the same as everybody else when they're going in guns blazing. And the last thing that I will say that makes Birds of Prey better than Suicide Squad is that Birds of Prey treats Harley Quinn as if she is an actual character. I know it feels like that I might be repeating myself because I kind of explained this in the first reason that I talked about, but I do want to point this out why it's so much better that they treat Harley Quinn in Birds of Prey, where Suicide Squad just treats her like fan service. In Birds of Prey, it seems like that they really do have a reason for Harley Quinn to exist, create a story for her, and have other characters that would fit within her kind of movie if they were to make any kinds of connections or friendships with each other. In Suicide Squad, she doesn't really make any strong connections. She's just in here to appease the audience members who would probably be teenage boys, because she's a very attractive woman. And to see Suicide Squad not really give any kind of dedication for her, especially since this is the first time we get an actual feature debut of this character with no real story, no real personality, and not really do that much fun whenever she is in action, just have her in here just to appease teenage boys because she's a very attractive person, that just feels like it disgraces the character gratefully. The character herself does have some attractive appeal within her personality, but there's more than that makes her awesome. And I feel like that Birds of Prey wanted to pay attention to more of that rather than just saying, oh, she's very attractive. So those are my exact reasons on why I say Harley Quinn is way better fit in Birds of Prey than she ever is in Suicide Squad. But what do you guys think about this? Do you actually think that she's more awesome in Suicide Squad than Birds of Prey, or do you think that she's awesome in both? Put them down in the comment box below and let's have a discussion about it. And like this video if you agree with what I say, or dislike this video if you disagree with what I say. I don't mind the dislikes. So that is it I have for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video.